Hello.
I'm sure that was great for everybody listening.
Well, Kanye. I mean,
Con boo.
we have to say
Okay.
anything else? Uh,
Ugh,
l- Lots of Kanye talk. Also,
what
as
an
we
idiot.
speak, or moments ago, if you're catching us live, Elon has exposed Twitter and the Hunter Biden laptop, New York Post suppression story slash cover up slash conspiracy theory. Um, Credit Elon. He brought in Matt Taibbi, who is a very well respected journalist, to do the work. So we have that story. Plus the morning show affair that ended both marriages
Oh
and is
boy.
causing quite the stir. It's not really a morning. We'll explain it. Putin falls down the stairs and soils himself. Lindsay
What?
Lohan pilk daylight savings time. Frank's going to explain that to us. All that and more. It's coming up on this episode. Mhm.
What's a pilk?
We're about to find out, big man. We're about to find out. I can tell you don't pay attention to the group chat either.
No, I don't.
Friends with this guy for 40 freaking years.
I'm sorry,
Doesn't read
but
my text messages
when you
anymore.
step away from your phone
Yeah.
for 5 minutes and you come back and there's 40 text messages from everybody in the group, I'm not sitting there and reading through all 40 of them. That's impossible. I'm not doing it because I know it's nonsense.
All right. Well, we'll talk about Pilk. Kanye lost his. Well, I don't know if he lost his mind or whatever.
He
Kanye
has lost
goes
his damn mind.
Kanye goes on the Alex Jones show yesterday
He's an
and
idiot.
professes his love for Hitler.
What the fuck is wrong with this guy?
A lot. I mean, I think a lot, you know. Uh,
I mean,
Um,
and Brittany was under conserv. My wife was like, "Oh yeah," and they put Brittany under conservatorship. But no, this guy's allowed to just do whatever he wants, and but nobody's reining him in.
that's a good line. How do we get your wife to start writing for the show?
She would be great.
Because I'll
She
be
writes
honest with you,
extraordinary.
the two people I have writing for it right now are just not cutting it.
No, we don't know what we're doing. But
All right.
honestly, this guy's nuts.
Do you want to hear some of the clips?
Ugh, do we have to? I've heard it all day. This guy. I mean, how
I
how do
thought
you?
maybe we shouldn't play it, and then I thought there's probably a couple of people that are gonna be like, "What the? You got to play it. I haven't heard it."
Is there anybody who hasn't heard it really?
I think there might be a few people. Well, we'll go through it quickly. I do. Here's the crazy thing. He showed up wearing that full over the
Yeah.
face mask thing that he wore and Kim wore. I think that's a Balenciaga thing, which always makes me laugh because I always think about diehard hockey fans will recognize this, but there's two guys that are season ticket holders for the Vancouver Canucks, and they sit right next to the opposing team's penalty box, and they wear the green
The
full,
green suits. Yeah.
and they just do weird, funny dances every time another player gets put in the box.
And they're
And I
just
always
right next to the
picture,
box.
yeah, I always picture them when I see this. When I saw her in that, I thought of this. I just always think of that. I think it's
You know, people are, oh, he's excited. No, he's not excited. He's something's wrong with him. He's got a problem.
well, something's wrong with him, and he's. I think what he did yesterday on the Alex Jones Infowars show is just try and just. I think he said, "I'm just going to lean into this, and I'm
You're
going to
leaning
take
into the
it."
wrong thing, buddy.
I think he's thinking I'm going to take this as far as I possibly can because I really don't care what people think anymore. And there's a weird sort of
That's clear.
yeah, there's a weird sort of like freedom to this where you just go, I'm just going to say the craziest shit and it doesn't make a difference.
Yeah, but it's dangerous. What he says is dangerous, man. There's people who admire this guy. People who look up to him. There's people who see him as their hero, and they see him and they hear him saying shit like this. There are people that might start thinking like that. It's dangerous when he has
I have to be
that
honest with
kind
you.
of influence.
I disagree with you. I don't
Really,
think any person in their right mind.
that's the thing. He's not talking to everybody in their right mind. He's talking to people who might not be in their right mind and are going to hear what he says and be crazy about it.
Well, yeah, but people who aren't in their right mind are hearing voices anyway telling them this stuff. So I'm not,
Well, this is an actual. This is coming from one of their heroes that they hear on podcasts or TV or whatever, and it's not to normalize and to try and highlight someone like Hitler in a positive light is wrong. It's dangerous, and there's nothing redeeming about it. How could anybody defend that?
Do you know the other thing about playing the clips is you won't believe it until you hear. Like even when you just said it, you can't really get it until
Because he doesn't just say it. Like he leans in, he's like, "I love," and it's like, "What are you doing?"
Craziest shit I've
He
ever.
says it like it's from his soul. He's like, "I love," and it's like, "No, dude, no, you shouldn't love him, that guy, in any way, shape, or form." I mean,
There's a there's a
he's the
moment
personification of evil.
there's a moment, Frank, where Alex Jones tries to clarify to like and Kanye like a baseball player rounding third and going past the stop sign. Kanye just
Barrels
blows,
through it.
just
He's
barrels
like,
through it.
"Nope."
And he goes like this with his jacket and just sits there like, all right, there's nothing I can fucking do. And this is Alex Jones, the man
To-
who's losing billions, right? Because of the stupid shit that he says. When that person is trying to slow you down and you don't get it, that's
No, it's when you're throwing a guy like Alex Jones off, you step back and go, maybe I just said something really batshit crazy, because that's you're on the wrong side, dude. I don't care. There's no way, unless the only redeeming thing that could happen is if he comes out and goes, "That wasn't me. I didn't go on the show. That was someone impersonating me," because he had the
I
mask
know.
on. But all signs are pointing to it was him. Then he goes on Twitter and he posts a swastika
I saw that inside a Jewish star.
inside a Jewish star, and he's like, and then Twitter banned him. And that was it. That was it for
Which
him.
again is amazing because it's like, how could you make a swastika worse? Oh, I know. I'll make it more insulting by sticking it inside a Jewish star.
Yeah. Well,
Here's my man Brian the Buchanan Bannon, Must Ye TV. See, that's what I'm talking about. That's how you write a promo, friends.
you see that?
That is how you write a promo.
We should hire some kind of writers.
We need clearly
showing
need
it?
help.
All right.
All right, so here's the first clip. I want to show you just four. These are the ones that were amazing to me because again, I went on this journey too where I heard one and I was like, wow. And then you just keep going and you're like, this guy is
He
just
just keeps
gone.
burying himself. And not only that, your first mistake is going on
Alex
this
Jones?
show, number one. Your second mistake, this is in no particular order. Your second mistake is having the other guest in the room there. That's what's his name?
Nick Fuentes, right?
Fuentes. That's
Yeah.
the super
Who sits there like a bobblehead the whole
bigoted,
time, just going like this.
smiling and agreeing
And
with
nodding.
everything Kanye's saying.
Everything he's saying. Which, by the
That's-
way, though, here's the thing about just to comment on what you're saying.
Yeah.
He can't go anywhere else and do this. Nobody else in their right mind. Only Alex Jones could be like, you go ahead. I
Well,
know.
before he did this, he could probably have gotten on a show somewhere. I'm sure they didn't know he was going to do this. Maybe they did. I don't know.
I don't know. I wonder. I don't know. I don't think Alex Jones would have co-signed on this. Anyway, let's play.
Was this live? This went out live?
I believe it goes out live on info. You know, funny. Paul said before I was going to put it up. How is he still on the air? I don't even know because I don't know
Yeah.
if Alex Jones is on YouTube.
I don't know that either, but apparently, I mean, he's bankrupt now, so he's, I'm sure, trying to make back something.
Yeah, I think it just all comes from his own servers, and I think he's had to, because I think for a while there, people were like kicking him off servers, meaning like our show is hosted on YouTube and Facebook and Spotify. Like that's where our show literally exists. I don't have anything.
Right.
I think
This is probably just, yeah, look, you could see in the corner. It's on his
Yeah.
website.
and like, but our website is on some server somewhere, and the company that we pay for it through. I think all those companies like kicked him off, so I think he had to fund and create his own technology and stuff. I might be
Fund
making
with
that up.
what, though? That's like fund. Number one, fund with what? And number
Well,
two,
he was making a ton of money, Alex Jones, for years.
Yeah, but now he's bankrupt.
Oh, now I don't know what he's doing. All right, here's the
And
clip.
number two, who's sponsoring him?
Yeah, can you hear that?
No,
Oh, you can't hear that.
no.
Fucker.
I don't think your volume's all the way up on the clip.
Oh, wait, no, could that be it? No, you should be hearing it.
I hear it very, very low. I can't understand it.
All right, give me a second to figure this out then.
Yeah, no, it just doesn't make sense. The things he's saying, and he just leans into it the wrong way. And how anybody can hear what he's saying and go, yeah, maybe he misunderstood it. No, he's saying it flat out. Like, I can't even repeat it. I'm not even going to say what he said. It's like, that's disgusting. It's like, he said that he actually denied the Holocaust. There was one line in there. He said, Hitler didn't kill 6 million. And it's like, what?
Can you hear this?
Yes.
Okay, good. Okay. All right. So here it is from the beginning. Here's the first 40 seconds.
That's right. You're not Hitler. You're not a Nazi. You don't deserve to be called that and demonized.
Well, I see good things about Hitler also. I love everyone, and Jewish people are not going to tell me you can love us, and you can love what we're doing to you.
I don't know where he's going with this with contracts and all this other kind of craziness stuff. I don't know what he's meaning there.
This guy that invented highways, invented the very microphone that I use as a musician. You can't say out loud that this person ever did anything good, and I'm done with that. I'm done with the classifications. Every human being has something of value that they brought to the table, especially Hitler.
That's right. You're not.
He goes, especially Hitler.
What?
Now,
first, he didn't invent any highways. Sorry.
No, you know what?
The microphone either.
You know what I was going to say? This is apparently a common thing for Nazi sympathizers, is the highway bit, because I didn't know that until this happened yesterday. And supposedly, like, as soon as you sign up for your Nazi sympathizer card, you get like a fact sheet of like, oh, Hitler, how bad could Hitler be? He invented the highways. Like that. Apparently, like, just not an original
incorrect. Thought. I don't understand where they're getting any of that, because highways were invented at the turn of the century, like 1902 or 3 or some shit. So
yeah, is that right? I don't know why I thought what's his name invented the highway.
Who?
John Highway.
Oh, John Highway did. Yeah, it was John Highway, and his cousin Joe Expressway. They were in on it together.
A lot of controversy on who came. I think they were in separate rooms, and who actually came up with it all first, we'll never know, really.
We never know. I think his wife, Michelle Offramp, got half of the highways in the divorce. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know how it all works, but go ahead. You were going on a roll. And what was the microphone? Is it the Heil microphone? Is that what he was talking about?
Here it is.
No, I'm serious. There's a Heil, Heil, Heil.
If there is, then that's not a good name for a microphone. But
yeah,
no,
Heil.
he did not invent the microphone.
No.
Alexander Graham Bell, Thomas Edison, credited for that.
That was the telephone.
Patent held by someone else. I forget the name, but it's not Hitler. I can tell you that much. So
you're wrong again, Frank. It was Phil Mike Rofone who came up with.
See.
Yeah.
It was Michael Rafone.
Michael
His
Rafone.
full name was Michael. Now he goes by Mike now. He goes by Mike.
Shortened to Mike.
All
right, nobody believes me now. Hold on a second. There is really...
Nobody believes you about what?
There's really a sound company named Heil. I'm sorry, there is. They're famous microphones. I mean, some of them are really nice microphones. I was just wondering if that was... If this is what people were talking about.
Who would name it that?
I don't know. But that's not, when you say Heil Hitler, that's not how you spell Heil, is it?
I'm not sure. It looks close, but I don't know. I'm not Googling that.
No.
But I don't. I'm not sure about that. But that looks like. Why would you want to associate with anything related to Hitler? I mean, that's just. There are certain things in this world you steer clear of. That's a big one.
Hitler would be a big one. Hitler would be one you just kind of keep your distance on.
I don't understand. Why would you? I mean,
Yeah.
there's no positives about Hitler. I'm sorry.
All right. So then here was a moment where I think they were going to commercial break, and Alex Jones was expressing that he didn't like Hitler, and then Kanye, kind of like under his breath or with the music going, goes, "I like Hitler." So he's just again
In Nazi
doubling
Germany,
down
do
on
I
it.
get love then? Schwarzenegger said he loved Hitler. They gave him an award. I'm just saying, I don't like Nazis, and I don't like what some of the mafias are doing either.
I
Well,
like Hitler.
You heard that?
Yep. Oh, I did.
Now, what is this? That's I haven't. Schwarzenegger said he liked Hitler at some point.
I don't remember that. If he did, I don't know it. I didn't hear that clip.
Yeah, I don't know about that one. But there was that one, and here's the one. This is the one where this is my favorite. When Alex Jones is trying to talk him down from like hold on there, buddy. Like
Kind of reel him in a little bit.
yeah, reel him in a little bit, and he just blows right through the
the
stop
Hugo
sign.
Boss uniforms. I don't think Hitler was a good guy. I get the Hugo Boss uniforms, amazing. But I mean, just because you're in love with the design, you're a designer. Can we just kind of say like you like the uniforms, but that's about it.
No, there's a lot of things that I love about Hitler. A lot of things.
I don't think Hitler was a good guy. I
What the
get
fuck?
the
I mean, and look at the stupid. Look at this bobblehead rat on the right hand side. Look,
there's a lot of things that I love about Hitler. A lot
see,
of
like
things.
I mean, and that's what like him like laughing and shaking his head makes me think that like this was a preconceived bit that they were just going in to do, and he just doesn't give a shit about
don't know if
how it
it's not-
affects people.
A bit is something a bit is normally something that is there for entertainment. This is not entertainment. This is hate speech. This is someone getting up there and praising a mass murderer, a guy who tried attempted genocide of a huge amount of people. It's like, how do you gloss over that? And there's a clip, I don't know if you have it, but there was a clip where he's going on his rant and he said Hitler didn't kill 6 million. That never happened. It's
Oh,
like,
here I have it. Oh, yeah, this one. Okay, I have it. This one is maybe the worst one, as far as how actually truly vile and disgusting, it is what he said. All right, here you go, Frank. This is what you're talking about.
a really good architect.
Hold on. Yeah, it starts with him talking about because again, Alex Jones is trying to steer him away from praising Hitler overall and say like maybe you just mean he's a good architect and that kind of jazz.
It's like he had a really cool outfit and stuff, and he was a really good architect. And
so you're in love with the look of it.
And he didn't kill 6 million Jews. That's just like factually incorrect.
Guys, get the Ronald Reagan clip they showed me yesterday. Sorry, go ahead. Ronald Reagan said that too. Well, I think Hitler did target and kill some people. So I think
I think Obama killed Palestinians.
No, I hear you. Here's where I think the frustration is. And Nick, you can comment on this.
And Obama was not the first black president. He was another Jewish president.
What?
It's like he had a really cool outfit and stuff, and he was a really.
What the fuck is he talking about?
I like it when he goes, he didn't kill 6 million Jews. Killed 5,999,000. It's factually incorrect, Frank.
Yeah, okay. So he was
3
there.
or 4 off. Yeah.
That sounds like
Stop
the other
spreading
guy.
misinformation.
The guy on the other end. I keep forgetting his name, but it's not an important
Nick
name.
Fuentes.
That's shit that he was saying on his shows he's a denier. He's a Holocaust denier. And that's now seems to be what Kanye is.
Hold on, Dr. Dex is making a good point here. Hitler did not kill all of them himself. He had soldiers do it. Perhaps that what Kanye was.
I'm sorry, but yeah, and if you pick one soldier out, that one soldier didn't kill 6 million Jews, but their regime did. He was giving the orders to do that. So yeah, it's on him. It's on Hitler, and it's on all the Nazis. So Hitler and Nazis. I don't understand why this is even a conversation anymore. Like, why Hitler, Nazis equals bad. Why is that so hard to understand?
So hard to understand.
What's
I don't know. What
is the question here?
I'm gonna catch a lot of shit from Janine for this, but when Trump was running for president, he started all. I mean, Trump started all this persona of like I don't give a shit started a long time ago. Trump really brought it into his own during his game show hosting days. And then when he was running for president, he really took it to a new level. And then during his presidency, he took it even farther. And I think this is what happens when somebody who is suffering with mental issues looks at that and then goes, I can one up this. I can take that shtick and I could go even farther with it and watch what I could do. And that's what I think this is.
But see, you're trying. It's not. See that you're saying, and a lot of people saying that he's just doing it for the attention. Two things about that. One, how much more attention can this guy have? He's one of the most popular people in the world at the moment. That's number one. Number two, people say there's no such thing as bad publicity. This is the definition of bad publicity. When you side with Hitler and Nazis, that is bad publicity.
Yeah.
No one likes Hitler, and the people who do like Hitler and Nazis are assholes and other Nazis. And that's just the fact. So when you side with them, you're on the bad side. I know people go, oh, good and bad. Well, who's to say? Nazis and Hitler are bad. That's the bad side. You stay away from that side.
This is one of the rare...
It's very clear cut.
This is one of the rare times in history where it's not even a 99%. It is 100%.
I mean...
Clear cut. That's bad, and this is good.
I was in... when I went to college, I was taking film classes, radio, all these different media classes. And one of the classes I took was actually called The Holocaust in Film. And it was all the movies and documentaries, things related to the Holocaust and the films that were made. At every class, I left there just pale and disgusted. Because what you learn and what happened, it's disgusting. It really is, and it's to know that happened, and to have someone today go on there and go, that didn't happen, or Hitler was a good guy. To say shit like that, knowing and seeing the footage yourself and going, this is the shit that happened. It's infuriating. It really is.
Yeah, and here's the thing too. I want to poke fun at this because I want to make Jewish people. I don't want Jewish people to feel bad about this. Like you can't, I understand what you're saying, not to take the piss out of what you're saying that it's bad. It is. But I don't want anybody to feel bad about this because Kanye is a troubled guy who should be ignored. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want Jewish people to be like, this guy is out.
Don't let him bring you down, is what you're saying.
Don't let him bring you down. Thank you.
I get that. The only thing is, when he goes out there and says shit like this, he's not saying it in a vacuum. He's saying it, and millions of people are hearing it, and it's causing the conversation to get to a point where there are, people that agree with him.
Yeah, but again, look at the way he's dressed. Like, is anybody going to be like, I got to be on that guy's side? I mean,
there are people who are going to go, oh, he's a genius. He's very ahead of his time. And
a handful of people, and I think they were bigoted. I mean, they probably got, fucking swastikas in their house anyway, these people. You know what I'm saying? I don't.
Yeah, but he's making it, by doing this, it's, even though it might be slight, he's slightly making it more acceptable, and that has to stop. Even though there might be one person who was on the fence about an issue like this, and because their hero Kanye starts talking about it, you go, oh, maybe it's like, no, anything you could do if you have a public stage and anything you could do to promote equality and nonviolence against anybody else, that's where you should aim yourself. He is taking the other road. He's aiming himself down a road that promotes a person that did some horrific things. I mean, and condoned horrific shit, and that's just, I don't even know why anybody would defend anything he says. He's lost. If he had any credibility left, it should all be gone, 100%.
Yeah, I mean, does anybody? I mean, nobody does business with him ever again. I mean, who's
Who
going to
would?
work? Nobody of any sort of high profile status is going to work for him again. I mean, even if you're an unknown and you've been friends with him for years and you work with him or work for him, I don't even know how you could stick around unless you just desperately need the money. I mean, I don't know how
Even
anybody can
then-
associate themselves with him anymore.
I don't. Yeah, I mean,
Like, I know what you're
imagine his
saying.
Kids, his
I know
kids
it-
listening to this.
I know what you're saying, but I disagree from a standpoint of I think this is him just starting to fade away to the point where we'll just not, in like 3 or 4 years, we'll just not pay attention to the man anymore. You know,
I hope so.
I mean,
I hope
when you
people
look at-
like this
when you-
should
when you look at-
fade into the background and disappear.
when you look at Trump, it's kind of, you can make the argument it's kind of happening there too, because he is not as commanding of attention as he was 3 years ago. You know, I mean,
Well,
he's not.
He's not in. 3 years ago he was the president.
Yeah, but my point is, is this shtick, as radical as this is with Kanye, as slightly less radical as it was with Trump, so on and so forth, it has a shelf life. It can't go on forever. It will run its course. And I honestly
Everything runs its course, but how long?
I honestly think that I don't know how long Kanye's got. Like, if this is where he's at mentally, I just don't know how long he survives for. I just really don't.
His career is over. I can't imagine
Everything's gotta
any
be
company going, this is our guy. Let's
Yeah.
side with it. What? It's over. He has. I can't. I don't know if there's a place you can go to look up who his, who he, his promotion, who he does business with, but I can't imagine it's very many after this.
He's actually made me feel bad for Kim Kardashian, which is really hard to do. I mean, think about her though, because if you're Kim Kardashian, how can you let him around your children anymore?
Exactly. I mean,
you can't.
How old are his kids that they're hearing this? They
I don't
understand what
know.
he's saying, I'm sure. So I don't know how old they are, but I'm sure some of them are old enough to go, Dad, you're really,
Yeah.
what are you saying?
I don't know, but I mean, if you're her, how do you not file whatever to not have him around them anymore? Because I couldn't do it. I mean, I could not sit there and let this happen. It would break. Like, I would imagine she's got to be somewhat heartbroken to be like, fuck, like, because your motherly instincts, your fatherly instincts, motherly instincts, parental instincts kick in. You can't allow
I mean,
somebody in this state to be around your kids.
I feel like she has a case for sole custody now. If she brought
Restraining order. Thank you, Ms. Justice.
If she went, I think right now I don't know exactly what the deal is with her and the kids and him. It's like, is it joint custody they have, or
I think he's got visitation, whatever. I don't know if they're actually divorced yet. Aren't they in the process?
I think it was final this week. I think this.
Oh,
past
was
week
it?
It was final, but I'm not sure. There was something with the kids, how often he gets to see, all that stuff. But if she wanted to, she could probably keep him away from them indefinitely until they're 18. I'm sure. Because this is grounds enough, I would think.
He's Yesterday's news.
Hopefully.
Like that.
Hopefully.
Yesterday's pretty good.
That is pretty good. Thank you, Maggie Craigie.
Let me see here. Hold on, damn it.
The guy's gone. He's gone.
He brought on some props.
Oh man, this is just another, maybe This is just another thing that just makes him look more batshit.
Yeah, the props and the talking to the thing here.
Yeah, what the? I mean, I can't imagine. Well, you're on Alex Jones' show, so he's batshit already. So
Yeah, I mean, look where you
but
are.
even he was like, "What the hell is going on here?"
Yeah. All right, here's the clip.
I was tired of picking up the Yahoo and the netting. So for now, it's just netting. I know some people call him BB. No, some people call him Yahoo, but we're gonna call him netting. What you want, netting? Hey, yeah, right after this, I'm gonna say you're crazy. I'm gonna take your family away from you. We're not done with you yet. You cannot cause free thought. We have to control the history books. We have to control the banks, and we have to go and kill people. Also, we're in the pedophilia.
So, and in a little while, hopefully, you're going to take the mask off because is this actually gay here?
I can't
I
even.
mean, even Alex Jones is uncomfortable. Can you imagine?
When we're sitting here watching this and kind of on Alex Jones's side for a second, that's when you know shit's gone off the rails.
It's scary, right?
This is unbelievable. Like the fact that he does, someone like Britney Spears, like my wife was saying, how she is under conservatorship, but this guy can do anything he wants, say anything he wants, do anything with his money. It's insane to me.
Mm.
I don't understand. I mean,
I also
think
tend
he's-
to lose respect for people who use props on podcasts, Frank.
hey,
Because anybody that's dumb enough to like break out like props.
oh boy, please don't tell me you have a net.
No, I don't. I would never.
You're an ass. You're a dick.
Wait, hold on. I gotta.
Oh, don't. Here we go. It's Anthony.
Do I look like Kanye?
You look like Anthony.
I'll tell you what. This is actually kind of free.
This
I
is
feel
what?
like I feel like I should. What? Can you hear me?
I could hear it. You look like Deadpool.
I feel like Deadpool.
What the? You're an ass.
Should I talk to my little Netanyahu? Hey,
Did
this
you-
is
Did you wash that hockey sock before
no,
you put
it
it on your
stinks
face?
like shit.
Oh, good.
I'm about to pass the fuck out.
Yeah, you could take it off anytime you want.
I'll tell you what, it's making me angry enough to say something bad about Jewish people, though, Frank.
Is that what it does?
I think
Maybe
so. Perhaps
too
it's
tight.
the
Too tight
restricted
around the cranium.
driving me crazy. Yeah. You know what else isn't bad though? Can I be honest with you?
I kind of prefer this
Frank?
look on you. I don't have to look directly at you.
Listen, you know what else I think is good? It's cancer. It's got a bad rap. I believe
Oh, boy. Here
like
we
we
go.
should really, honestly, give cancer a chance because I think
Let me just stop you right there. I think what you're saying is that you don't like cancer, but you know there are some good things like it's a solid word is what you're saying.
hang on, Frank. I didn't think this through because I wrote down a lot of stuff, but I can't see
You
anything.
can't see it now. You should poke some holes in that thing.
Oh, you know what else is good? Blackouts. How else would I use my candles if it wasn't for blackouts?
Well, you're not saying blackouts are bad. You're saying that you like nighttime is all you're saying, right?
No, I love blackouts.
Okay,
Hold on.
okay.
Wait, I got more jokes here.
Hopefully you're gonna take that mask off soon.
I can't read any of this.
This is when you. This is
I
why you
didn't think-
show up for rehearsals.
Yeah, I didn't. We didn't. I didn't wear the thing in rehearsal. Oh, you know what else I really love?
What's that?
IRS audits. Am I right?
Well,
I
you're not
mean-
saying wait a second. You're not saying you're for audits.
Yeah.
You like the fact that there's money involved. You like
No,
money, is what you're
I
saying.
love IRS audits because I like collecting receipts, especially the ones from CVS.
Well,
Ain't that right,
CVS
Netton?
receipts.
Yeah, that's right. CVS receipts are cool.
Well, those receipts are good. If you need a long piece of paper, you're good to go there. That's all you're saying.
Yeah. Wait, hold on. You know what my favorite part of the Bible is, Frank? The snake in Adam and Eve. I mean, is that guy got some talent or what?
Oh, see, now. That guy, I'm not saying you're like the devil. You're not saying that, right? I mean, let me just go on a limb here and say you're not saying you like the devil.
You know what my favorite part about going to the gym is? When people don't wipe down the machines. I mean, isn't that glorious?
Well, that's just you're a monster, is what I'm saying. You're an asshole. I'm gonna come out and say it.
I like dentists. I think they should have their own schools.
They do have their own schools.
Tiny would be the best ever. What's with the dentist?
What's with the dentist?
Yeah. You know what else I really enjoy, Frank? Those extended warranty phone calls. I like to talk to those people.
You like to talk to people. That's all you're saying.
They're nice people too. Yeah.
And they're offering you a deal is what you like.
Yes. I'm tired of mainstream society acting like that's a scam. They're there to make sure your car works long term.
Exactly. That's all you're saying. You're saying warranties are good, and why not get a warranty from a guy you never heard of? Well, that's just
right.
Common sense right there. That's common sense.
That is common. Thank you. Sorry.
How you doing there, buddy?
My tongue. That is common sense.
You all right?
I think I swallowed
This went a lot better in dress rehearsal.
Yeah. All right. I think that's all the material. I can't. It's hard to read. Anyway.
Good job.
Do you know Yoo-Hoo doesn't have milk in it?
That's disappointing. I think it's just chocolate and water, right?
Yeah, it says chocolate drink. Can you
Yeah.
read that? I don't know if I'm pointing to the camera.
You got it. We got it. Yeah.
So you're not saying there's no milk in it because chocolate, but it's a dairy product right there.
What's with that guy? That needs a lozenge. I need a lozenge after doing that for 2 minutes.
I can't believe that actually worked. You could drink through this thing.
That's disgusting. That's a hockey. That's a sweaty hockey sock. You're filtering that you through.
I like sweaty hockey socks. There's nothing wrong with it.
You're not saying you like sweaty. You're saying hockey's a great sport. That's all you're saying.
I like high sticking and slashing. I think it's good for the game. All right.
But you like that there are penalties for those things. You're not saying you like the injuries.
God, that was that was taxing.
That was a lot of work.
I don't know how you did that.
I don't know. I'll tell you what the worst part was is actually having to drink Yoo-Hoo. What is this crap?
I think the worst part was you having to borrow J-Sab's GIMP mask. What the hell is going on with you? Is that
I don't know.
you gotta wash your socks, bro.
I need milk and chocolate drink. That's better that way.
Yeah, go with Nestle's quick.
See, you got to learn what Amos does. See, he doesn't actually say the bad thing himself. He says it through a character.
Yeah. Until he said the bad things himself. Then he got fucking fired.
Maybe that's what Kanye was going for.
I misapproached, bad approach. Not the good approach you think it is.
Oh shit. What's next for Con? Are we ever gonna see this guy again? I don't even know.
I hope he just disappears into the background and he just lives in a cottage somewhere out of the way. Go away, pal. Your time
You want
is
to put him in a
done.
cottage somewhere? That's a little harsh.
I want him to, I don't want any harm to come to him at all. I want him to just not be in the spotlight anymore. That's all I'm asking.
WNBC.
See, it sounds like I'm saying what you're saying. WNBC.
I think I can't hear you. There's no ear holes, but I think I'm saying what you're saying.
No, like that. Ready? WNBC.
I love when he puts his hand by his ear.
Yeah.
Paul Giamatti is a genius.
Paul Giamatti is one of the best. Everything he does. He never phones it in. He puts everything into it.
I think that was one of his best roles. It'll never get credit because it's Stern's movie, but it's one of his best roles ever.
He was great. He was great in that role.
Yeah.
That was one of his biggest, right? Or his first.
That was his first real big role. Yeah.
Right. I'm sure he was in little things before that, but that was like a big one for him.
Yeah, that put him on the map. And then I remember when he started getting bigger shit, people were like, is that the guy from the Stern movie? Fucking
Yeah.
really kind of stole the show.
Is that Pig Vomit? I think that's Pig Vomit.
I think that's Pig Vomit. The fact that he broke away from the Pig Vomit name, like nobody
That's hard to
referred.
do.
That is not an easy thing to do.
For a while there, he was Pig Vomit, but then he started doing some normal mainstream movies, and that brought him right back out of it.
Do you need
Surprised
a
he hasn't
lozenge?
won an Oscar yet.
I know, right? Do you need a lozenge? Because that Alex Jones impression is not easy.
I need a cough drop.
I'm not saying the cough drops are turning the frogs gay, but they are.
You have to listen.
Bring
it's
me
not,
Spider-Man.
That's what he reminds me of. It's very close.
What's J.K. Simmons? Is that his name?
J.K. Simmons.
He was great in that.
He's great too. He's another great one. I don't know if they were ever in a movie together, but if they ever are, count me $20 later.
I like when he says, "Get out of here," and he's just still standing. He's like, "What are you still standing here for? Give me that." He takes the pictures back.
He was great. He made that whole scene, that whole thing. He was great.
All right. Listen, we all agree that what he said was bad, but you have to admit the silver lining in this, the little itty bitty sliver of amazingness in this, is that somebody made Alex Jones uncomfortable by what they were saying, which I would have lost money on that.
Alex Jones was thrown back on his heel because Alex Jones comes up with the most batshit crazy stuff, and to throw him off his game, you got to out batshit Alex Jones. That is no easy task.
Yeah.
The only thing you could say is what Kanye said. Anything else, Alex Jones would be like, "Yeah, I agree," but Kanye comes out with something that even Alex Jones is like, even I wouldn't say that.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna be, again, I like to follow shit. I'm be really curious to see what becomes of.
Yeah, and again, J Sabs says clearly he's just doing it to gain attention. She's in the chat, and there's good attention. There's that old saying that there's no such thing as bad attention, bad publicity. I do not believe that. This is the definition of bad publicity. You're not going to gain anything from this. You're only going to lose. Saying you side with Hitler and Nazis, that is a guaranteed loss.
I don't know. Even if you turn around.
Jeez, dude.
A month from
drink of water or something.
I feel like I can't get rid of it. Even if you go like a month from now, you go, I was just doing it for attention. I was just goofing. Nobody would really say that. I still don't know if anybody would be like, oh, okay.
No. I mean, it's not. Again, once you come out and once you say you're on the side, that is the absolute wrong side. No matter, that's just the worst you could. That's one of the worst things you could say. It's up there with the worst. It's tied for first with a lot of other things, but it's definitely first place.
Jimmy Kimmel said he was wearing the wrong color hood.
That's good. I saw that. That was a good line.
That's a good joke. J Subs. I wish she was on with us. Right? I didn't say it. I didn't say it was right, and then she said, "This is who he is." I agree. Exactly. Yeah, I agree. But I just, again, it's like
there were a lot of people who were saying Kanye's a piece of shit 5-10 years, not maybe, I don't know about 10, but 5 years ago and beyond. And everybody's like, "Nah, what are we talking about? He's a genius, all this stuff. He was doing great." And then he comes out with this, and everybody goes back to those tweets and goes, "See?"
I will tell you this. I did not think that he could do this. I did. I was on the it's attention, and he's just silly. He's mentally, handicapped, and he'll say crazy shit. He's on meds and not on meds and this and that. I didn't think he'd be dumb enough to do that, because I honestly think he's doing this as a shtick. I don't think he really truly believes this. I think he's just
How
like,
could this be a
I can say this and be crazy.
But it's not. I mean, when you do a shtick, I feel like there's a goal for a shtick. Hopefully, when you do shtick, it's to gain positive popularity when you do something like that.
Yeah, but not when you're not in the right frame of mind. I think I
Well-
think he's thinking I'm just gonna burn this all down. That's what I think he's thinking.
Well, I mean, then okay, then you're gone. Then I mean, if he was looking to disappear and be out of the
Yeah.
spotlight, this is probably the best way to do it. To just
Fucking-
not have anybody want to do anything with him anymore.
Dave Chappelle did it best. He moved to Ohio. Ohio.
You combined Ohio and Idaho to Idaho.
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 Good.
It's the mask. It's a lot. And like he just didn't want to be in the rat race, you know. And like you hear that every now and then. The
Fine.
celebrities. Who is the guy?
Don't go on shows. Don't do interviews. Stop.
know.
You want to disappear? Disappear. Don't. You know, there's ways to do it other than what he said. You don't have to do it that way.
Yeah. You know, Luis. What's the fuck his name?
Louis
No.
C.K.
No, Luis, the Spanish guy who's in like everything. He was in Boogie Nights.
Guzman?
Luis Guzman. He lives in Vermont. I fucking every now and then you'll hear of a celebrity who lives in Vermont or they live in fucking
Yeah, they like to be tucked
Arizona.
away,
Yeah.
out of the the hustle and bustle. They want to be secluded. Great.
That I love hearing shit like that though, because it's like I don't know. There's just something about a celebrity just going, fuck it. I'm gonna go live in New Hampshire and I don't give
Yeah.
a shit.
I'm gonna buy a ranch and live out in the middle of nowhere.
I'll fly to
horses.
I'll fly to California when I need to, and I'm living a normal life.
Exactly.
I really think that California is like a form of hell. Like when I was there. You ever been to California?
I've never been.
Los Angeles is, I don't know. There's something about it that is just unsettling and uncomfortable. Like,
What do you mean?
like the weather is nice, but there's not like a sincere person anywhere. Like everybody acts like a celebrity. Everybody's trying to get their leg up. Everybody's trying to be famous. Like you just walk around that area, just nothing feels real. Like or legitimate. It all seems like people are like I couldn't imagine. Like it's a fun place to visit, and it's like Hollywood and all this kind of exciting stuff. But like after a while, we did this. We did like one of the celebrity tour bus bullshit things, right? And this guy was really nice, and he's just going on and on with this shtick, and he's just like, I mean, you're just looking at him, and you could just tell this guy spent his entire life trying to become a celebrity and nobody gives a fuck, and it's the most depressing thing. Like after a while you're like, this is sad a little bit, it just feels uncomfortable, and I just feel that way whenever I hear people or whenever I see people, like whenever I see like Los Angeles, it just feels uncomfortable to me.
Okay. I mean, you were there what, once, twice?
Twice? I want to say twice.
Okay.
Yeah,
never been. I'd go just to do the touristy stuff.
Yeah, and I was younger. It's fun to see like I said, the Hollywood stuff, the movie lots, the TV shows, and everything. All super fun shit.
Yeah. I'd love to see movie sets and stages and all that stuff. That'd be cool.
Super fun.
Watch something get filmed. That'd be cool.
Super.
I mean, we
fun.
see that stuff in New York. There's things getting filmed in Manhattan all the time.
Yeah.
But to be
But
like
New York
on a lot would be really cool.
It is very cool. Like everybody should go. Like I don't want to discourage people from visiting. Just don't move there. Because, like the thing about New York is all that stuff happens in New York, but people are like, get out of my way. I got fucking somewhere to go. And they got more important shit to do. Where in Los Angeles, at any moment, if you just like we're in a crowded area and you turn around and said, I'm a movie producer who's got a script on them, you will get 6 scripts handed to you. Like if you send Jerry Bruckheimer anywhere in Los Angeles and he just goes, I'm Jerry Bruckheimer, I'm looking for a script, who's got one? He'll get like 6 or 7 scripts handed to him.
That's where you go. That's the hub.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
They're actually talking about bringing back masks in Los Angeles because the COVID numbers are going up a little bit.
What was I saying? a year ago. I was like, listen, the numbers are going down, but they're going to go back up if we don't, we have to be careful. Yeah, I'm not perfect. I don't wear my mask everywhere, but I started putting it back on when I go to the food shopping. I throw it back on. If I'm in a place where there's a lot of people, I'll throw the mask on, here and there. Depends. I don't know.
Can I tell you something?
What? Yeah.
All the masks we had, like we had a ridiculous amount of masks at one point. They're all in the garage. I threw half of them away, and the other half I like put away. Like,
yeah, they're supposed. You're supposed to not wear them.
Nobody's wearing them here.
The blue surgical ones, you're supposed to throw them out after a certain time.
No, but like the other ones, like everybody, remember, it was like everybody was buying them, and but just they're all gone. They're all gone. Now, Janine says she has 0 masks left, but I know this is a bullshit lie because she's getting on a plane right now. I believe, if I'm to believe this to be true, I can't tell. Janine is either traveling to where she said she was traveling to, or she's getting drunk in a motel outside of the water park in Pennsylvania. I don't really know.
Either is possible.
But if she's getting on a plane, she's wearing a mask, just like she did the last time she flew.
Which was not that long ago.
It was not that long ago. Credit to her, though.
3 months.
For sharing the picture so that we could make fun of her for it.
Agreed.
Where am I going to go now, Frank? Oh, okay, Elon.
Okay.
So Elon made a lot of news, and actually Epstein made some news too with this, which I thought was kind of hysterical. Oh, first, let's do Jumpstart Coffee Company. I got mine right now, Frankie C. And
You're gonna have to drink some of that to get that that sock taste out of your mouth.
I know. Can you even see it? I don't know if you can see it in there. There, look at it.
We see
Delicious.
it. There it is.
Delicious. Wouldn't have been able to make the show without the Jumpstart Coffee Company. Proud sponsors. Best coffee I've ever had. Save 15% when you order with the link in the description. Use the promo code AOA15. Dark roast, medium dark roast, espresso blend, the light roast,
stuff.
decaf.
I can tell you, they do not support the Nazis. They support the exact opposite of the Nazis,
They do not.
which would be the armed forces of the United States of America, specifically the Navy SEAL Foundation. So our veterans, who I would argue are the exact opposite of the Nazis.
You know who's got good coffee is that Folgers. Am I right? I mean, come on.
See, you're not saying Folgers is good. You're saying you like it in an instant. You're like,
I like mass-produced coffee fast. I mean, Folgers. Am I right?
I got it. I can't do the voice anymore. I can't. We have to move on.
WNBC.
WNBC.
I love Jumpstart. Couldn't do the podcast without them. They're the best. And of course, they have the subscribe and save. So you could literally buy somebody a year's worth of coffee, save a little bit on it, and give somebody the great gift of wonderful, delicious, freedom supplying coffee all year long.
Absolutely.
That's
literally half of what they bring in goes to the Navy SEAL Foundation. That's incredible.
Yes, that is incredible.
I mean, what could be better than that? You get a great bag of coffee. That's win number 1. You support the troops, number 2, and you support a great podcast.
Well,
a podcast.
Great.
A podcast.
A podcast. Order now with the link in the description. Use the promo code AOA15 to save. Thank you. Elon. So Elon goes, so when he bought Twitter, he teased that he was going to release all the information on the Hunter Biden New York Post story. For people who don't know, the New York Post broke some news just prior to the election that Hunter Biden had a laptop, and there were some emails and photos and so on and so forth on there. And not only did nobody believe that this was true, this was suppressed by a lot of social media networks, most notably Twitter, who refused to let the story get out and go viral. And it may or may not have had some
know about it.
consequent. What?
Then why does everybody know about it?
Well, we know about it now, but at the time,
known about it for years.
No, at the time, at the time of the 2020 election, we've come to know about it. But back then, when the New York Post broke the story, Twitter suppressed it from getting out to the masses. And so when Elon bought Twitter, he said he was going to look into this. And so today he said, today is the day that we're going to release all the information on what exactly happened behind the scenes with Twitter. And then he goes today at like 5, and then 5 o'clock came and went. And I swear to you, Epstein started trending. Clinton started trending. Like everybody thought somebody got to
Oh,
Elon.
I get it. Okay.
He could fucking, which I thought was absolutely hysterical. Let me take you through, because Matt
Is it 5
Taibbi,
o'clock our time or West Coast time?
5 o'clock our time. Yeah.
Okay.
In fact, he had to come on and be like, we're just fact checking some last minute stuff. That's why he had to like come on and like signal to everybody that he was okay, which I thought was pretty hysterical.
So what did he release? Did he release anything yet?
So he did, and here's what he did. He handed it over to Matt Taibbi to do, which again I think is a stroke of genius. I didn't think he would do that, and I was caught off guard and perhaps a little surprised. But for those of you who don't know, I've been reading Matt Taibbi for years. Everybody probably has. You don't even know it. The guy wrote for Rolling Stone. Like he wrote for just a lot of different outlets over the course of his career, and I've been reading his stuff. It's the kind of thing where I was always just reading his stuff and didn't even know who the hell he was until after a while. The name is kind of weird, Taibbi, Taibbi, where it kind of like gets in your head a little bit. And so I was probably reading his shit for like 4 or 5 years before I realized, oh, that I've seen that name before. And then you realize like, oh, this is another Matt Taibbi article. But he does a really good job. He's a very fair and just like kind of getting down to the truth of it all. In the world that we're living in now, where like magazines and other news outlets are kind of dying, and like documentaries kind of are the only way you can really get information now. He's kind of become that sort of long form writer where it's more like, not here's the breaking news story, but here's the story behind this story of what happened. He kind of does more long form shit now in his career. Anyway, so he talks about Twitter. He wrote like 39 tweets, Frank. So if this gets boring at all, you pull a ripcord.
I'm already there.
Okay.
Well, boil it down for me.
All right, let me boil it down for you. He goes on about Twitter and how great Twitter is, and points out what's so wonderful about having this global mass communication system, which I think we all agree is the truth. Like, it is a great thing that somebody in, Italy can put something out and Frank in New York can read it within a second.
Here, just a sidebar here. I was watching quick, I don't know, couple minute video Mike Rappaport put out a few days ago, or maybe even a week or something like that. I don't know.
Okay.
And he said, Twitter, Elon kind of opened the floodgates for everything to come, for free speech, but it's like, there's also a lot of hate speech, all the stuff comes with it. And he goes, you know what Elon should do, and this is actually, I thought it was a fairly decent point. Everybody should be verified. You shouldn't, if you're going to say shit on Twitter, your name should be out there, your face should be out there, because if it's the town forum for the world's, town square, then if you want your voice heard, you shouldn't be hiding behind an avatar or whatever picture. It should be you're verified. This is who you say you are, and then you could say whatever you want.
All right. I don't like Michael Rappaport. I think that's not a bad idea. But here's the thing, though, and let me put a caveat on that. Facebook recently has kind of made that a thing where, like, you can't really join under a false name anymore. Like, you have to be who you are. I'm totally okay with that. But I also think there needs to be room for parody and jokes.
Sure, but if it's a parody, then it should be clear, like you're parodying whatever, Donald Trump parody. But underneath or on the page, it's say run by so-and-so or whatever. Whoever runs it should be very clear who you are. I'm not saying give out like your address and shit.
Right.
I'm saying your name and your picture.
But I think you'll also agree too that there is a plus sign to anonymity, because
and a minus. There's a very big minus.
Of course.
The minus, yeah, I know the plus, anonymity, you can say what you want, blah, blah, blah.
No, not even
But
that though. But like, let's say I work for a huge company and they're doing something terrible, and I don't want to lose my fucking job, but I can create a Twitter account
maybe
and
Twitter's not the place to. Maybe you go to the news and you go to a reputable source and you tell them.
all right, let me give you another example. The Me Too movement. I mean, a lot of people did that under anonymity, and it was important that
Well,
they
came. Yeah, no, I agree with that. But a lot of that came out too with lawsuits. That I'm not talking about filing lawsuit. Yeah, you should be able to stay anonymous when it comes to legal things and whatever is going on. But if you're in a town square, if we're going to treat it like a town square, village square, you know, I just think there's kind of I see pros and cons to it.
Yeah, me
You know,
too.
if you're going to go out there and start speaking your mind, it should be treated like a town square. Like now you have to live with what you just said. Now you
I
have
agree
to,
because you want to
yeah,
cut down on. I wouldn't say this in public for fear of I'd get the shit kicked out of me, or something bad can happen to my family, or I could lose my job. But
right.
now I'll say it online because I'm safe there. I agree. I
Yeah,
agree with that.
I think that's a good point.
Yeah. I just realized that Janine's whole I'm going to St. Louis thing was a callback to her story about the identity theft the last episode.
Oh yeah, all right.
Just
Very
putting
good.
that together now.
Very
So,
good.
which means that she's definitely getting drunk at a motel outside of a weird water park
Good for
in
her.
Pennsylvania again.
Get nice and loaded.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. I'm actually I don't know what she's doing since she's watching. Is she still in the chat? I've lost the chat.
Yeah, she's there. She was there a couple minutes ago.
Yeah. All right. Anyway, um, miss you, J Sabs. So that was what Taibbi started with, and this wonderful thing. He says, and let me just read this here. I'm skipping to the fifth tweet. In an early conception, Twitter more than lived up to its mission statement, giving people the power to create and share ideas and information instantly without barriers. As time progressed, however, the company was slowly forced to add those barriers. Some of the first tools of controlling speech were designed to combat the likes of spam and financial fraudsters. Slowly over time, the staff and executives began to find more and more uses of these tools. Outsiders began petitioning the company to manipulate speech as speech as well. First a little, then often, then consistently. And again, I'm reading the tweets from Matt Taibbi. By 2020, requests for connected actors to delete tweets were a routine. One executive wrote to another, more to review the Biden team, more to review from the Biden team. Excuse me. The reply would come back handled, meaning that one executive wrote to another executive, more to review from the Biden team with a bunch of tweets. And then the answer was handled. Celebrities and unknowns alike could be removed or reviewed at the behest of a political party. And he put an example where they put two tweets and an additional report from the DNC, and those tweets were removed at the behest of a political party.
Well, what was the tweets?
I don't know because he doesn't show us. He just showed. I mean, I'm
Well, it's
sure if
easy
you
to
really
say.
wanted to see, you can copy and paste what the URL is of that tweet.
Yeah,
But
because to be fair, when people say it's a political tweet, they could be talking about vaccine misinformation, and that some people see it as political, other people see it as public health misinformation. So when someone removes a tweet like that, it could be, one side might see it as, well, look at the Democrats taking, or the Republicans taking these tweets down, that they're suppressing free speech. But then someone else might come along and say, well, no, this is misinformation. It's dangerous. So we don't know what the tweets are. I don't know what the tweets are.
both parties had access to these tools. For instance, in 2020, requests from both the Trump White House and the Biden campaign were received and honored. However, this system wasn't balanced. It was based on contacts. Because Twitter was and is overwhelmingly staffed by people of one political orientation, there were more channels, more ways to complain open to the left than the right. There is a list of contributions by party from employees of Twitter. 99, 98, and 96% of Twitter employees were Democrats. in 2022, 2020, and 2018, respectively. That's from Twitter. The resulting slant in content moderation decisions is visible in the documents you're about to read. However, it is also the assessment of multiple current and former high-level executives. Twitter, all right, how and why Twitter blocked the laptop story. On October 14th, 2020, the New York Post published Biden's secret emails, an expose based on the contents of the Hunter Biden abandoned laptop. Twitter took extraordinary steps to suppress the story, removing links and posting warnings that it may be quote unquote unsafe. They even blocked its transmission via direct message, a tool reserved for the extreme cases, i.e., child pornography. So meaning like if I DM you something, Twitter can actually control the DMs even though they're not public. And they developed that tool for child pornography. Okay. White House spokeswoman Kylie McEnany was locked out of her account for tweeting about the story, prompting a furious letter from the Trump campaign staffer Mike Hahn, who seethed, "At least pretend to care for the next 20 days." So Kayleigh McEnany tweeted about the story. She got locked out. This is the White House press secretary at the time, getting locked out of her account. It's kind of important that the White House press secretary be able to reach a lot of people. Getting locked out of account for tweeting a story that was ultimately true but was suppressed by Twitter. This led to policy executive Caroline Strom to send out a polite "what the fuck" query. Several employees noted that there was tension between the comms and policy teams who had little less control over moderation and the safety of trust. She wrote, "Hi team, are you able to take a closer look here? Thank you." Strom's note returned the answer that the laptop story had been removed for violation of the company's hacked materials policy, meaning that they would not permit hacked material from being transmitted through Twitter. Although several sources recalled hearing about the general warning from the federal law enforcement that summer about possible foreign hacks, there's no evidence that I've seen of any government involvement in the laptop story. In fact, that might have been the problem. The decision was made by the highest levels of the company without the knowledge of CEO Jack Dorsey, with former head of legal and policy and trust Vijaya Gaddy. My apologies to Vijaya and Vagina. Playing a key role. They just freelanced it, is how one former employee characterized the decision. Hacking was the excuse, but within a few hours, pretty much everyone realized that that wasn't going to hold, but no one had the guts to reverse it. He goes on to put an exchange between. Okay, so they continue to talk more about it. All right, let me read this. It is kind of important. Trenton Kennedy, I'm struggling to understand the policy basis for marking this as unsafe. I think the best explainability argument for this externally would be that we're waiting to understand if this story is a result of hacked materials. We'll face hard questions on this if we don't have some kind of solid reasoning for making the link unsafe. Katie Rosborough responded, will we also mark other stories as unsafe? Because everybody was then writing about the actual New York Post story itself, right? Mm-hmm. By this point, everybody knew this was fucked, said one former employee, but the response was essentially to err on the side of continuing to err. Former VP of Global Comms, Brandon Borman, asked, can we truthfully claim that this is part of the policy? To which former Deputy Counsel Jim Baker again seems to advise staying on the non-course because caution is warranted. A fundamental problem with tech companies, Matthew Taibbi goes back to now editorializing, and content moderation. Many people in charge of speech know and care little about speech and have to be told the basics by outsiders. In one humorous exchange, are you ready for this, Frank? Mm-hmm. Democrat Congressperson Ro Khanna reaches out to Twitter, Gad specifically, to gently suggest she hop on a phone call to talk about the backlash free speech. Khanna was the only Democratic official that Matt Taibbi could find who expressed concern. And the email from Ro Connie was generating huge backlash on the Hill re-speech. Happy to chat if you're up for it. Meaning, here's a Democrat who sees what's happening and goes, this is really bad. If you guys are actually tampering this down, Congress is starting to talk about it. I'm happy to hop on the phone if you would like to. Gad responds by talking about the Twitter policy where Ro Khanna is like, this is a bill of, I'm talking about the Bill of Rights. You're talking about Twitter policy. Like, it's bigger than Twitter, is what this Democrat was saying.
Right.
Connie tries to reroute the conversation to the First Amendment in subsequent, discussions, which I won't bore you with, but that's essentially what happened there. Within a day of the suppression of the story, head of public policy, Lauren Culbertson, receives a letter from Carl Sabo of the research firm NetChoice, who had polled 12 members of Congress, 9 Republicans, 3 Democrats from the House Judiciary Committee. And basically what he tells them is, we met with all these members of Congress. They're starting to gather their staffers are starting to gather intel about Facebook and Twitter and the New York Post story. The staffers hail from the House Judiciary Committee, basically saying, heads up, you're getting investigated for what you're doing here. The system wasn't balanced. It was based on contacts because Twitter wasn't as overwhelmingly staffed by, oh, sorry, I got sucked back here. Fuck, I lost my place. 33. All right, sorry, buddy. It's hard to keep track of this.
No, it's a lot. So I just think, all right, so Twitter was suppressing, the people at Twitter were suppressing a story. Yeah, I mean, if that's what happened, yeah, sure. Investigate it, hold Twitter accountable. I get it. Let's see, I mean.
But see, this is the core of like Elon just simply saying what they were doing, although what started out as good intentions, clearly here was bad. And not the way what our country is based on. And so he's trying to reverse that. And everybody is giving him shit for it.
I get that, but when the problem with Elon is when he comes out of the gates tweeting conspiracy theories about Pelosi and shit like that, it's hard to trust the guy. You don't want, he comes out of the gates with Pelosi's husband gets hit over the head with a hammer, and it's like he tweets this thing. Oh, it could be this, it could be that. It's like, no, stop.
I don't disagree with you. He's playing an odd game where he's creating content and putting out opinions himself, while also trying to be the guy who stays out of it to let Twitter be the thing, the form of communication that it is. It's hard to play both sides of that fence. I think you got to kind of give up your own personal Twitter,
of course. No,
if you're going to be the guy to be like, okay, everybody can tweet. It's hard to do both.
It is.
But at the same time, like I hope you understand this, and I hope everybody else understands this that although you'll get crazy people like Hane talking about Nazis and swastikas, and you're going to get a little bit of hate speech and everything. I hope everybody understands that stuff is always there anyway. It's always going to be there. The bigger danger, and most people are going to ignore that shit and know that it is what it is. But the bigger danger here is you've got people who can sway the release and dissemination of information. That is dangerous. By the way, no joking. That is what Hitler did. One of the first big Hitler moves was getting rid of the press and the comedians.
I understand that.
He didn't let anybody. There were no comedians. Nobody can have.
I get that, but I see what you're saying.
That's dangerous, it's not dangerous today. Like the guy who talks about Nazis are great. That's dangerous today. But what's dangerous long term is having a small amount of people control what everybody sees.
I get that. I do. And I agree. It should. The thing is, it's like there are things that are out there like there's TV networks and cable and all this stuff. Certain things aren't allowed on these networks. Certain things are blocked. Certain things are this. Certain things are censored. And nobody cries about free speech there.
But he's doing that. I mean, he's doing that. He's eliminating tweets. You know, if there's hate speech in a tweet, it gets deleted.
Well,
You know.
yeah. So then, hate speech. Yeah, that's a different story. Hate speech, of course, get negative stuff like that.
He's doing all that stuff, but yet the left is so afraid of this which I'll tell you what the crazy thing is, and I've said this before. We've talked about this. 15 years ago, when we started in radio, it was the right. It was the right that were going, you can't say that. And I know there's freedom of expression, but this is a God-fearing country, and you can't talk like that.
But they still say that, but not when it benefits them. And I think that's both sides.
That's both sides. You agree.
Because, you know, if you go on Channel 5 in the middle of the day and you say, fuck you.
Yeah.
The right, maybe even the left, but mostly the right would say, you can't say that on TV. What are you doing? That's got to be censored. You can't, my kids watch it. But they're all free speech on Twitter. And it's like, well, okay.
When it's for them. But by the way, the right is loving this. And let me shit on the rights parade for just a second. I got news for you. This was I'm Twitter fucked up, you know, and I think it's good people losing themselves and making a bad mistake. But there could have been 17 Hunter Biden laptops and Trump would have still lost that election. Like, I saw some people tweeting like, see, here it is. I knew the election was rigged and this is finally proof. It's like, no, because like I said, if you found 20
Hunter Biden's laptop,
if you found 20 more Hunter Biden laptops and everybody wrote about it, Trump would have still lost that election because of the pandemic. Like
the pandemic, that was huge. He fucked that up royally for a year.
Yeah,
and that was the end.
And that was it.
Most of the country had enough of him already, up until that point. But that put it right over the top. And it was like, no, this guy obviously can't handle a crisis. So
I don't think any president would have survived. You talk about the best presidents in history. I don't know if any of them would have survived the pandemic.
I don't think that's true. I think there was a way to handle it. He fucked it up. He was given the information. He said it wasn't a big deal, and didn't put plans into action until months later, and then after that did nothing to give people the information they needed. He just went up there and said, and it was like, it's going to disappear like a miracle. It'll go away once it gets warmer. The warm weather, get rid of it. It's like, no.
David says polls say it would have changed the election. I think it would have swung some things. I think it would have swung some votes. I really, really do.
Sure.
I think at the end of the day, and here's why I say this. Joe Biden is just not an appealing person. Like,
he's more appealing than Trump. That's
well, let me finish my thought here. Joe Biden could have been the nominee in 2016. It obviously made sense. And most of the time, regardless of party, that is exactly what happened. What happens when you have a president who has 2 terms, the VP always gets the nod. That's always the next person. If you have 2 terms as a president, whoever the VP was, you say, hey, you get to take over and run it. Now, obviously, there's exceptions. Joe Biden, even Bush's, who's the fucking the penguin? Who's the guy there? Fucking
what?
Who is Joe Biden? Bush's vice president, the penguin. Fuck was his name?
Yeah, that guy.
Yeah, whatever. You know what I'm talking about.
Forget his fucking name.
Because he didn't want it. Anyway, there's times where they don't want it, but that's always the person that they go to. And I know Biden says he made the choice and he may have, and the son that he lost and all that jazz. But I think at the end of the day, Biden just looked at it, and I don't think he thought he could win, and I don't think anybody thought he could win before the Republicans even knew who was going to be their nominee, because he made that decision before it all came down to it. So I don't think that anybody really thinks that Biden is an appealing guy. Biden won because he wasn't Trump. That's all he had. He's weakened at Bernie's. That's all he had to be, was just not Trump. Be alive and don't be Trump and you win. And the reason why I'm saying all of this is because that's my point, is it wouldn't have swayed the election too much. We could have found out that Biden was full of shit. We could have found out that he was bought and paid for by whoever, China, Ukraine. And I think people would have still voted him in because of everything that they were going through in the last year. I don't know if any, by the way, like, you talk about all the great presidents, Lincoln almost didn't make it the second term. He barely squeaked by in that election, and we were going through a civil war. You know what I mean? So it just
half the country didn't like what was happening.
And by the way, the half that didn't get to vote in that election would have definitely voted against him. So it just makes my point. Kennedy, whoever the fuck you want to say, Roosevelt, like, nobody would have survived that election, no matter how many laptop stories there were. And I just believe that.
I think it's someone who could have had. Look at what Robin said in the chat. Trump fired the pandemic response team before COVID. Also canceled the maintenance contract on the nation's backup ventilators and critical med equipment. He fucked up big time with this thing. He mishandled it drastically, and everybody saw what was happening. The numbers kept going up, and he did fuck all to fix it. It was like it was silent for.
You're making my
time.
point. That's what I'm saying. Like
He was. But if he didn't, someone else with a brain wouldn't have fired the response, the pandemic response team, would have done everything they could have done.
You think Trump would have won re-election?
If he would have handled it the right way, maybe. He fucked up big time. He was given the information. He was told, this is going to be a huge deal. This is a problem. And he didn't do anything. He was like, it's like the flu. It's not going to be a big deal. He told America, don't worry about it.
Well, he tried to minimize it so people wouldn't panic, but it was already too late. When he said all that stuff, it was already too late.
Minimize it. You tell people this is because nobody panicked. I'm not talking about panic. I'm talking about being prepared. There's a way to do it. You get out there and you say, listen, this is an issue that we're going to face together. There's no cause for panic, but we have to be prepared. And here's what you do. He could have gone out and said that. But no, he was like, it's going to go away. Don't even worry about it. So what did people do? They went out. They kept partying and getting together in big groups, and nobody gave a shit. And everybody got, people died. And that's the big fucking problem.
Well, that's the story from Matt Taibbi. I would suggest everybody take a look at his page. If you go to Elon's page, he tweeted it out. He tweeted a link to it. It's 3639. It keeps going from there. There's more to it, but I don't want to bore anybody. The point is, it's, again, an undeniable thing that they fucked this up. And like he says in the beginning, both the White House, the Republicans, they had access too, but because the Democrats had just more people who just happened to know more people at Twitter, they had an unfair advantage over it. And that I'm sorry, is not the way to run a public, I know it's a private company. That's not the way to run a public messaging forum. Thank you. It's just not how you should run it. And everybody knows the truth too. Look, Facebook's not much better, but it is better. They've had a better system in place, and they're all sort of adopting this, independent, arm that investigates. By the way, don't you think it's weird that something this massive never got to the CEO of the fucking company? Like, the CEO couldn't go and the guy who invented this couldn't go, hang on a second, guys. This isn't what I fucking started this for.
How do we know it didn't?
It didn't get to him before at this point. I mean, it got to him eventually. Right. But there was a lot of decisions made on this before it got to, like, I'm sorry, but I've been a part of organizations where some shit comes across and you go, I have to call everybody. I have to call the boss, the owner, the manager. Like, everybody needs to see this. This is this big of a fucking deal. And that's exactly what this was. And it's sad because, again, you hope that in those moments, like, everybody shits on the FBI now because of Mar-a-Lago and this and that. And I know everybody has political preferences, but I believe in people, and you hope that people will put their organization, their job, so on and so forth, above their personal feelings. And I really feel like a lot of the times most people do. This was a time where I don't think they did. And it was a bad result for everybody. Like the people that are like, we have to squash this. I think that they felt like they were helping Joe Biden win the election.
maybe.
And now look at them. They're probably out of a job because, and rightfully so, because they fucked up. It wasn't right for them to suppress, like in the reporting, there's former employees quotes in there saying they knew this was wrong, and the lawyer was just like, just keep going because this is the course that we've chosen. Like somebody's got to be in that room to be like, guys, this may hurt us. This may hurt our own personal political feelings, but this is what's right this is just what's right, period, for Twitter, for America, for everything. That information gets out there,
Yeah,
Again, I think most people would have looked at this and said, Joe seems sketchy. His son seems like a real fuckface, but I'm going to vote the way I don't think everybody voted for Biden because he's an outstanding individual. I just don't feel that way. He just wasn't Donald Trump, and everybody felt like we've got to go in the opposite direction.
Yeah, I didn't want Biden as the nominee. I was thinking Suzanne Warren, or what's his name? Bernie Sanders. Either one of
You know
them
who
would be
I
great.
was hoping for? Barack Obama.
Elizabeth Warren. I don't know why I said Suzanne.
In a full black bodysuit and face mask.
Yes.
Who are you? Nobody.
You're a dick. No,
Wouldn't it be hysterical if Barack Obama ran again in the glasses with the little nose and mustache?
yeah, right.
Hey guys,
My name's Bear.
my name's Jack Orama. How are you?
Gorama.
Who wouldn't fucking vote for Jack Orama? Honestly.
That sounds like a fun time.
All right, Frank, we're running out of time. Let's get to the last couple topics here. So there's a not morning show in on ABC. They have Good Morning America.
Yeah.
There's something about, here's why I hate TV executives. Same reason I hate radio executives. There's just zero creativity in these faces. You have your morning show, which obviously has some success. Good Morning America. And then they go, we got to put a show on at noon. What do we call it? Well, we can't call it Good Morning America anymore because it's at noon, right? And somebody stands up and goes, the fuck we can't. Let's call it GM3, and it'll be like the third fucking, setting or hour of the fucking Good Morning America, and we'll go from there. And that's what they did. I think Good Morning America 3 is on at like noon or like 11 or some shit.
Okay.
Like they did this on the Today Show too. It's the 5th hour of the Today Show. Well, god damn it, it's the all fucking day show at this point. I mean, it's fucking crazy. Anyway.
So what is this about, an affair?
So yeah, the two hosts of the show, this Amy Roebuck, or Roback, I should say, and TJ Holmes, they've fucking been rumored to be like, oh, is there like a thing? This popped up at the marathon a couple of weeks ago where it's like, they were awfully kind of weirdly close to each other at the marathon. And some fucking TMZ guy takes a couple of snaps at like him smacking her ass and this and that. Then this whole flood of pictures comes out of the two of them that they were like intimate with each other, like hugging and all this kind of crazy shit. Turns out these two have been fucking each other for the longest time. It all comes out this week, ends both of their 12-year marriages. They've both been married for 12 years. Both gone.
That's what happens.
Isn't that fucking crazy? And then so somebody I know knows somebody who works at ABC, right?
Okay.
And so they tell me that they found out that this was happening, and one of them, it was Monday or whatever it was, and one of them was on. The next day, the other one comes back from vacation, and they're like, okay, I'm ready to go. And everybody in the building was like, can we put the two of you on the air together? Like, is this going to be weird? And supposedly it got so like odd. Like it got up to Bob Iger, who literally just walked back into the Disney CEO office, right? And that's Disney, not ABC. Like it went past all the ABC people to fucking Bob Iger's office of like, what do we do here? And literally because nobody could respond in time, they just let them go on the air
Okay.
together.
So
And
how
like
did
everybody's
that
like,
go?
yeah, everybody's like, this is a little weird, isn't it? And they have been like joking about it. Like today they went on the air and they were like, boy, we're glad this week is over. And they were like laughing with each other.
Gee. Well, are they together? Maybe. Are
Yeah.
they together now? That's it. They're in a relationship.
They're in a relationship. Yeah.
So
They
their
just
marriages are over and they're a couple now.
then they're fucking. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, you know what? Their rapport is going to get a lot better because now it's all out in the open.
Yeah. It's weird though. Like I can't, like when I look at them, all I think about is them having sex. It's the same with the other ones on MSNBC, Morning Joe.
Oh, yeah.
Remember the blonde and Joe?
Joe.
All I think about when I see them is them fucking. And all I think, do you remember the SNL skit where they're like doing the news and then they were just like making out with each other all over each other? That's all I think about. Like, how could you think about
Yeah.
anything else?
It's the truth. But hey, you know, you got to be an adult. Yeah, immature bastard.
Yeah, I guess so. It's weird though, because I feel like I've known a bunch of the radio teams, like the husband and wife pretend radio teams, and it's like they are either actually fucking each other or they hate each other. Like there doesn't really seem to be an in between.
Yeah, that's true. They're either mortal enemies or there's something shady going on.
Except for one who we know was like a little weird though. No?
I think I know who you mean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I didn't fully know what was going on there.
I don't think anybody does to this day.
Yeah.
Never know. You never know. I'm sure it could have been very innocent.
It's weird though, because I was always let me think about this. Hold on. Let me
Think about what you're gonna say before you say it.
I've never even kissed, hooked up with anybody I've worked with ever.
Ever.
I just feel like it's bad practice.
Yeah, no, it's not. Well,
Especially
as long
because
as it's not a boss. I don't know. It's a weird thing.
let me tell you something. I came close once. And I just thought about that. I shouldn't tell that story on the air. But the point I'm trying to make is, okay, here's what always I so wanted to do this for a living. I never wanted anything to fuck it up.
Right.
And I always, what's that?
Yeah, exactly. I agree.
But right, and don't you feel like everybody in those behind the scene positions feels the same way? Like they all want to get to that next level and they just don't want to fuck it up. But
Well,
yet
you're banging your producer now.
that's true. Putting a smile on that one's face, let me tell you what.
It's over.
But maybe that's why I made her producer of the show. So I can finally get that done. But anyway, it's always amazing to me how many like motivated people there are in the business who would just want to make it and be good in their career, and then equally how many people just go, I'm just gonna fuck the producer, or I'm gonna bang this one or that one, and it never ends well ever.
No, it doesn't. I mean, I can't say. What is it? It's got to be extremely rare if it ends well. Someone quits or gets fired, or and they're still together. Who knows?
Yeah, because that's the thing. Relationships really don't last for the most part. Like, if that Morning Joe couple, if they start fighting and whatever, then they got to sit there and fucking work with the other person.
Right. That's a problem.
That's horrific. Or did you ever have this? You had the couple dating, then they break up, and one of them starts dating somebody else in the fucking company.
That's just a mess that nobody should have to deal with. It's like, we're trying to run a business here. We're trying to run a company.
Yeah.
This is personal stuff. You're mixing everything. What are you doing?
Fucking it all up.
Fucking it all up.
Putin fall down the stairs, soils himself. This is speculation. Clearly, anything with Russia and Russian president is.
Is there footage of this? Is there anything?
No.
This?
No.
Is it just a story that's out there?
Yeah. An anti-Kremlin Telegram channel with apparent links to his security team reported Vladimir Putin fell down the stairs and soiled himself this week amid mounting speculation that his health is declining. He's 70 years old.
Right. I mean, maybe it happened, maybe it didn't. Why, this this anti-Kremlin whatever got some balls coming out with this story.
Mm-hmm. I will say Telegram has become a thing because did you see the other day that people in China, they were protesting that because they still have COVID lockdowns over there. Xi has like a zero COVID policy, and they're getting fucking like they have to not only wear masks, they have to be tested like every 6 days or something crazy like that. They all have to go.
Yeah.
And that's you just can't run a country that way. And supposedly like their economy is suffering from it. Psychologically, it's an issue. So they started protesting in China. It was a big deal. We almost talked about it on Monday, but I forget what happened. We had just too much other stuff going on.
Probably talked about farts or something.
Yeah, I think we were talking about farts, which is important. But anyway, because Apple came under fire too. Apple was like again suppressing this. Like there was an issue with the factory over there. They're making iPhones, and they didn't want to. I don't know something. And you know how tight Apple is with China, and you know what China does to people. It's a whole fucking thing. But anyway,
everything's fucked up.
You got to let that speech get out there, and people are talking. That was it. They were suppressing Telegram. It was something where they're suppressing Telegram on the phones or with the Wi-Fi or some bullshit. But that's what Here's the thing: everybody's like afraid of China, afraid of China. They're one shitty policy away from all of those people going fuck that guy and having a revolution on their hands. That's the thing with dictatorships.
I know it either doesn't last and everybody fucking revolts.
Yeah.
Or and you die a horrible dictatory death.
Dictatory death. Lindsay Lohan slid into my TikTok ads.
Oh, okay. Not your DMs.
Not my DMs.
Okay. What did she do there?
She's pumping Pepsi. She's got a Pepsi, and then all of a sudden she goes, what's good with Pepsi is milk. And she fucking pours a milk into her Pepsi.
What?
And calls it Pilk.
Come on. And she drinks it, and she said it's good.
Yeah. I'm like, what kind of disgusting ass shit?
Now, this is regular milk. This isn't like Silk or.
There she is pouring the Pepsi.
Yeah, there's the Pepsi.
There's the milk.
Looks like coffee.
Yeah.
There she goes.
Pilk and cookies.
Huh. Is this going to be a taste test thing? Are we going to try this?
It might be. I think it might be the thing that shits myself. I might pull a Putin and fall down some stairs with just shit everywhere.
This could cause that.
Yeah. I will say, this is nutty. I also think people are nutty who put milk in iced tea, but people do that shit.
I've never heard of that.
Oh, yeah, big time. And when you think about it, it's like, I'm like, that's disgusting. But then it's like, well, I have hot tea and I put milk in it. So.
Right. Milk and tea, milk and coffee, milk. Hey, you add milk to a lot of stuff. Why not? Let's see. Maybe it'll be good. I don't know. Is there ice or no ice?
There was ice. But I was saying this to our mutual friend goes, well, what about a root beer float? You put fucking ice cream in that. And I'm like, that is a good point. You do that in a root beer float.
That is a marvelous point. Root beer floats are amazing.
This fucking Pilk thing might not be so crazy. I mean, it's bad that you have a former crack addict, pumping it out there. Like I tried this when I was high on meth and it's delicious. So that might be the bad move, but what are you gonna do?
It could be one of those, you got my peanut butter on my chocolate, you got my chocolate on my peanut butter moments.
Mm-hmm.
She discovered this by accident somehow and on her meth days, and now it's a thing.
Do you want to explain daylight savings time, or do we want to go and we'll do it some other time?
Whatever you want.
We could do it another time.
It might take some time. I don't know.
We were just waxing poetic before the show. I'm like, what's daylight? Because this is the last year, right? Aren't we getting rid of it? It's next year. There's no daylight saving time.
I don't think we're getting rid of it. I don't think there's talk of that. Well, there was talk of it, but I don't think it's anything official.
Yeah, I think next year it goes away. Go ahead.
So daylight saving time happens between March and October-ish area around there. It's basically so we would So that means we would spring ahead. So we set the clocks forward an hour. So what happens in the summer is there is more daylight, but we turn that back in the winter so that the daylight occurs during normal business hours and normal time, like a time where it's normal to be up and about and doing stuff. So if we didn't have that, we wouldn't have sunrise until like 8 o'clock or something, like, whereas it would be 7 o'clock. You know what I mean? It would throw off where the daylight is. So what happens in the spring is, let's say sunrise is 6 a.m. In the spring, we go ahead an hour. So sunrise is now, it's a longer day. So sunrise would happen still at 6 a.m., but we would be ahead of it an hour. So it's a weird, complicated thing, but basically there's more daylight in the spring and summer than there is in the winter.
Got it. I know
Okay.
that. All right.
Okay.
So if we do this, what time? Because right now it gets dark at fucking 4:30. It's depressing as shit.
Right. So what we did was, in the fall, we set the clocks back to, if it was 4 o'clock, or let's say that if it was 5 o'clock, it would now be 4 o'clock. So if we didn't do that, it would still be 5 o'clock. We'd be ahead of the sunlight. The sunlight would be off. You know what I mean? It wouldn't be in the middle of our day anymore.
So we fell back. So it's 4:30. So when it gets dark, it would be 5:30.
When it gets dark, we fell back. So when it gets dark, it would be 5:30. Yes, but the morning, it would shift the morning.
So
the
it would
other
be
way.
dark when you went to work.
Right. It'd be dark.
Basically, we're
you know,
choosing when we want to have darkness.
Right. So more darkness at night or more darkness in the morning.
I got to tell you something. I'm kind of in the favor of more darkness in the morning.
So it would be like 8 o'clock and it would still be dark.
But here's the thing. I don't think anybody's going to be happy with this because you just have shorter days no matter how you shake it out. So
You do have
It's-
shorter daylight. It's just a matter of, do you want to wake up at, roll out of bed at 7 and still, you walk into work and the sun isn't even up yet. But it happened it was with the farmers. They wanted, and the timing there, that when they get up, they wanted the sunlight.
right.
So they had the daylight savings gave them sunlight at a reasonable hour for farmers to start their day.
Didn't we give them farmersonly.com though? I mean, isn't that enough? Like,
That's an even trade, I think.
get laid and just leave it. Let us figure out the whole time and
Yeah, I
something
mean,
like
there's
that.
still farmers out there, so if they want to get up and start farming at 8 o'clock, by 8 o'clock, it's still dark. That's a problem for them.
Got it. The U.S. Senate on Tuesday, this is March 15th, passed legislation that would make daylight saving time permanent starting in 2023, ending the twice annual changing of the clocks in a move promoted by supporters advocating brighter afternoons and more economic activity.
Right. Well, brighter afternoons. Yeah, it would be brighter afternoons, but again, it'd be darker mornings.
Oh, the Senate approved measure called the Sunshine Protection Act.
Sunshine protection. It's everything a protection. We don't need this. The sunlight's doing just fine, but we don't
You
need
have to protect the sunlight, the sunshine.
I'm all for protecting everybody else, but the sunshine is doing just fine. Who are we, Mr. Burns? We blocking out the sun?
The House of Representatives, which has held the committee hearing on the matter, must still pass the bill before it can go to Joe Biden to sign. So it's not even a law yet. Just the Senate.
I mean, what's the people just don't want to turn the clocks? What's the problem? What's the difference?
I don't know. People seem really upset about it, and then I hear a lot of people like it's an economic issue. We got to have it. And I'm like, I don't know. It's just shorter. It's just shorter daylight, no matter how you shake it. I don't know.
Yeah, the Earth is you're gonna have the same amount of daylight no matter what the clock says. It's just a matter of when the businesses start and when they end. When do you want your daylight to be towards the end of the day or towards the beginning of the day? That's all it is. It's an hour difference. It's not.
I think we're still going to be miserable in the winter, right?
Yeah, well, that's for sure.
I mean, you get here now's a miserable time, but it's like, oh, the holidays are coming, so you're like, I'm gonna have some cake and shit. People are a bit more accepting of it. Once you hit that fucking January, though, it's like, holy shit.
Agree. Plus, the rest of the world is on the same page, for the most part, right? I mean, if we go back an hour, in October, we go back. Doesn't most of the world do that too?
It's a great question. As a spoiled American, I have no idea, nor do I
There
care
are
what's
some
happening.
states, like Arizona, does not subscribe to daylight saving time. So sometimes they're 3 hours behind us. Sometimes they're 2 hours behind us.
That's right. They're fucking crazy over there.
Hawaii as well, I think, is another one that doesn't. That sometimes they're 5 hours behind us. Sometimes they're 6 hours behind us. But as far as like European countries, I think we're all on the same page with it. So if we mix our messages, we're just gonna have to adjust for the rest of the world anyway.
Tell you who I'd like to get on this, Frank, to be totally honest with you. It's Kanye. I'd love him to get on this. You know, like in The Office when they used to give like mundane tasks to Creed to figure out. I feel like if we give him this, might seem like a big deal and keep him nice and distracted.
Keep him in the corner with a puzzle. Go figure this out for us.
Yeah. And then in 2 years, they'd be like, good news, everybody. Kanye has a report to share. Isn't this great? Isn't he doing such a good
We'll put it
job?
right up on the fridge so everybody could see it. No. He's got to go away.
Exactly where it would go.
I stole that joke from Family Guy.
We all did. Who's the first person to put Kanye on their show? Next.
Next.
I mean,
Alex Jones.
I think
Tucker Carlson.
I think the next time. No, you think so? You think so?
That's where
I
my
don't
money
think.
is.
No, I don't think he can do it.
I think he'll go. If it's anybody big, it'll be Tucker Carlson. That's my vote. That's my call.
Well,
If it's not anybody big, it'll be some no-name bullshit thing that he can only get on that.
Forget that. I'm talking about recognizable, like legitimate. Oh, okay, that's a big show. Who puts him on next? And let me just say this: I don't think it's any time within the next 5 years. Like, I mean, like eventually he's gonna go on do something and be like, I was in a bad place and I fucked up. Who puts him on?
I say he's on Fox within the month.
You really think so? I think I want to bet with you on this.
I'd say before the year is out, he's on Fox.
On Fox or like on whatever Tucker's bullshit podcast is that nobody pays attention to?
Good question. I didn't even.
Because didn't he just start like I'm going to do a podcast and I'm not going to wear my bow tie? I'm going to like let it all loose and everybody check me out. We talked about it, didn't he? He had some fucking person on. It was annoying.
He'll be either Fox or Tucker. Can I go with that? Fox and or Tucker.
So you're saying both, either property?
Either one, Fox and or Tucker.
Let me think about that. I don't know if I want to give you that.
Some people in the chat are saying Oprah. I don't know if he's going on Oprah. I don't know if Oprah wants anything to do with him. Oop, sorry.
Let me think about Oprah.
In what way? I mean, because if he goes on Oprah and he's spouting the same stuff he's spouting on,
she wouldn't.
It's not going to be good.
Yeah, she would.
If he's going on there saying, guys, I had a brain tumor, it was making me say fucked up things, that's a different story. That's the case, but you never know.
That's who you want to go. By the way, I think I have nothing to go. But I think Will Smith reached out to Oprah and Oprah said no.
Then there's no way Kanye's gonna go.
Yeah, I just think that
going to talk to Kanye.
Yeah, I just think that I just think she looked at that and went, no, this is not going to be. I can't make this interesting. Like, think about where Oprah is. She's the Royals. The Royals, like that was her last thing, was the Royals. She's not coming down from that, and I think Will Smith is coming down from that. Kanye might not be, but again, that would be a while from now on. Listen, Oprah, I fucked up. I need to apologize. I need you to give me the form and ask me the questions and go through the whole thing. Then I would think she would do it. But even then,
to be recorded.
Yeah,
and it would have to be. Here's what we're talking about.
I even think, forget that. I think she would say, you can't tell anybody. This cannot leak that I'm sitting down with you until we're done. And I know I have enough in the can that you're not going to fuck me over. You know what I'm saying? That is the only, I don't think she would even entertain it.
And at this point, I mean, we're assuming that at some point he's going to come out and say, I fucked up.
He has to. What else are you going to, when, you know.
you would. I mean, in the vein of not wanting people to be destroyed, by their own making, and you want redemption, hopefully, maybe, but I don't see it happening anytime soon. Anyway,
No,
I think he's gone. He's done.
and I don't think he's ready to apologize. I think he still thinks what he's doing is like cute and
He
humorous.
thinks he's right. He thinks he's doing the right thing. That's what it seems like. The way he emphasized what he was saying and leaned into it, literally and figuratively, he was like, "I love," and it's like, all right. I mean, I don't even think he said that about like his kids. I love, like, he was like passionate about it.
I would be amazed if I'll take your bet. What are we gonna bet? Because I don't think Tucker touches this in the next month.
You don't even think it's like a, hey, come on and explain yourself, and he
No.
just gets more. It's going to be more of the same bullshit that he's spewing on that he spewed on the other show.
I don't think Tucker will give him the forum. I don't think he can afford it.
Maybe even under the guise of, here's a potential candidate for presidency. You think he's still running for president?
I don't think anybody will even entertain that in a post-Trump world, because we're living in a post-Trump world where last time we were like, hey, everybody, isn't this fun? We're goofing around, having a good time. And then that person won and everybody hated it, or those particular people hated it, I should say. I don't think anybody will make that same mistake twice. Yeah, I don't think he does it. So I'll take you. I'll take your bet. What do you want to bet? $5?
$5
We don't have it.
That's fine.
Do you have anything interesting? I don't even know what else we can come up with.
I have no idea.
All right, it'll be $5 if we can't come up with something more interesting.
Great. I'll buy a bag of Jumpstart coffee.
How about this? Loser has to pay for somebody's membership.
For how long? And what level?
Lowest level, 6 months.
Lowest level, 6 months. Sure.
Deal?
That's fine.
All right, because I know there's some people that are like, oh, I want to join, but I don't have $2.99 a month. Which I'm like, you don't, but okay. I know some people are falling on hard times.
Yeah, I think that's doable.
So loser, but I get to pick it.
Pick what?
If I win, I get to pick who you have to pay for. If you win, you get to pick who I have to pay for.
Okay, it can't be someone who's already a member. It's gonna be a new person.
It's gotta be a different person. It gotta be a non-member.
All right. I say he's on Fox or Tucker. And
Within a month?
Before the year is out.
Before
January 1st.
January 1st?
Yeah.
All right, deal. It's made. Witness?
Lock it in.
All right, locked in. You good?
I'm good.
Big man. Stole the show with that Alex Jones impression.
Were you with the sock on your head?
Well, you may have saved me. I don't know if the sock on the head was going all that crazy. Oh, here we go. See, Miss Justice. All right, let's put Miss Justice on the list of being considered.
That's a good candidate.
Thanks, Robin, for being a witness.
Yeah, let's see. Witness.
Yeah.
There you go.
If you want to get your membership paid for and you're not a current member, reach out to us in some way, shape, or form. I want to pay for somebody who hates Frank. I mean, I want him to pay for somebody who hates Frank.
Right, that would be me paying for it, right?
Yeah, that would be my ultimate goal.
Yeah, you don't hate me. Come on.
All right. Hey, Cyber Week. Whoops. I'm sorry. I'm just breaking all the buttons here. Cyber Week ends Sunday, I think. So if you want to get that 10% off the merchandise at the merch store, link in the description, or shopanthonyonair.com. Jump on that now because it's Sunday. It's over. Same for the members. Your 20% ends on Sunday as well.
Show me potato salad.
Catch you guys on the next one.
Maybe we should go now.